Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please feel free to hit the subscribe button so I can make more content. Today we're going to be talking about why the scapegoated child loses love for themselves and how we can regain this self-love. My name is Kalyi Emoto and I'm a psychotherapist who specialises in helping people overcome childhood trauma. And I do this by combining spiritual and scientific truths to help us develop and evolve ourselves to the highest state we can during this lifetime. In each video, I'll be talking about an aspect of childhood trauma and following it with a guided meditation to help give you some practical tools to heal any negative effects you may have experienced from trauma in your childhood. One of the saddest and most debilitating things that can happen to a child as a result of being scapegoated is that they lose love for themselves. When the toxic narcissistic parent is constantly telling us that we're not good enough, stupid, evil, the cause of all the family's problems, we gradually lose love for that parent, but we also gradually lose love for ourselves. The main reason for this is that because we're a child, we're relying on that parent for our livelihood. We can't just pack up and leave. We have to stay and endure the abuse. We try very hard to make sense of the situation. And a lot of the time, it's much easier to believe what the parent is saying about us, that we're the problem, because it's too dangerous for a young child to admit that it's the parent who is not good enough, stupid, evil, and the cause of all the family's problems, because we're relying on them for our livelihood. So what are some of the signs that you're losing self-love? One of the main ones is that you could start to try and hide yourself. You may become really quiet and not have the confidence to put your own opinions forward. You may be reluctant to step forward and participate in activities that you enjoy or you want to try because you're trying to avoid what you think is the inevitable criticism that will come from other people. So you gradually fade into the background and hope that people don't notice you so that you will not encounter this criticism. As we get older, we can also develop a fake, more acceptable persona to show to other people. But it's really exhausting to maintain this fake persona. And so a lot of the time, we only feel we can truly be ourselves when we're alone. As a result of holding ourselves back for fear of being criticized or shamed, we don't get to know who we really are. We don't get to develop talents and interests that we would naturally have, and this can result in feelings of depression, lack of joy in life, negative emotions such as anger, frustration at the narcissistic parent, ourselves, and the world in general. Another sign that you may be losing self-love is that you avoid intimacy with other people. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're always isolating, although you might do that from time to time. But even if you have friends or a partner, if you're putting forward a fake self or hiding your real self from other people, it's very difficult to develop real intimacy. That is, letting yourself, your real self, be known, and getting some feedback from others, letting others be a mirror of who you really are. Another sign is that we could start to lose connection with our feelings and emotions. It's very painful to feel the emotions that regularly come up as a result of being a scapegoated child. And also, we can't self-regulate, so we don't want to risk exploding in anger. It's easier to feel numb, gradually just numb out from our feelings, and eventually we don't even know if we're angry, sad, frustrated, happy. We just stop being able to even identify our own emotions. We also might disconnect from our inner wisdom, our inner voice, because we don't trust ourselves. So we can create a fantasy world where there are no surprises and we can control everything in that world in an attempt to control ourselves. You may start to develop addictions as a replacement for a secure base with yourself and others. We usually think of drugs and alcohol as addictions, but really anything can become an addiction if it's done too much. Things like overeating, overstudying, watching too much TV, even things like over-exercising, cleaning, or organising. As an adult, you may turn to drugs and alcohol, and even codependent relationship can be seen as an addiction that you're using in an attempt to create a false secure base for yourself. Another indication that we may be losing self-love is that we develop self-sabotaging behaviours. You may be just about to achieve a level of success that you've been working towards, and suddenly you just do something that undoes all that hard work. Some examples are, you may have been trying to lose weight and you're close to your goal weight, but then you have a huge binge out on food and put on most of the weight that you've lost. Or you may be selected to do a public talk, something that you've been working towards and looking forward to, and at the last minute you develop a migraine, or you have to sort out some family drama, and so you cancel. So what's the solution to this? How do we regain our self-love? And what is self-love? A lot of people think that self-love is elements of self-care, such as making sure that we draw boundaries, we don't engage with toxic people, we have pampering for ourselves, such as having a massage once a week or socializing with friends, developing a good exercise regimen and taking care of our health. And all of these things are important. They're important parts of self-love. But at its core, self-love is really more about unconditional self-acceptance. Accepting the bad parts of yourself as well as the good parts. You're a total package as you are, and all the experiences that you've had have led you to become the person you are now. It doesn't mean that you can't be aware of things you want to improve. Of course we can do that, but we don't hate or disown or be ashamed of parts of ourselves. These shadow parts of ourselves may have helped us survive a horrible childhood where we were scapegoated. And so some of these things that no longer serve us need to be relinquished with gratitude rather than hated and despised. This is not an easy process either. It can take a long time. So don't be discouraged. Just start, take baby steps, and give yourself praise along the way for the smallest improvements that you make, the smallest successes. It doesn't really matter how long it takes. The point is that you've started and you're in the process of regaining self-love. An example of treating ourselves with self-acceptance, which is at the core of self-love, is that we will not criticize ourselves harshly or punish ourselves when we make a mistake, for example. Instead, we'll acknowledge that we made the mistake and learn from that experience. We'll always treat ourselves with compassion and understanding through the failures that we have, as well as our successes. One of the first steps in regaining your self-love is to look at your childhood where you were scapegoated and abused in the correct perspective with compassion and understanding. The truth is, you were born to parents who didn't have the capabilities to give you the love and care that you needed as a child. They were projecting their own self-hatred, their own limitations onto you, instead of identifying these things and working to heal them in themselves. So this situation was not your fault. You didn't create it, you didn't deserve it, and all the negative labels that your parents put onto you were lies. As a child, you couldn't escape this situation. You had to endure it, and it damaged you a lot, mainly causing you to lose your self-love. But now that you're an adult, you can work to undo all the damage and regain the self-love that you lost in your scapegoated childhood. It's also important that you start to abstain from addictions and experience yourself without these security blankets. When you do this, you'll be able to identify your true self and also identify any false fantasy worlds you've built to protect yourself. Tell yourself that you can deal with life's surprises, you're more aware now, and you can deal with your own emotions and any challenges that life brings. Also, acknowledge and deal with any negative inner voices, inner thoughts, and negative emotions that may arise, such as you're worthless. You may hear these voices in someone else's voice, such as your toxic parent. Acknowledge these things and gradually choose to let them go. Stay present. Don't disconnect from your inner core. Don't abandon yourself. Resist the temptation to dull the pain of self-hatred with addictions. As you look these things in the eye and face them, you'll know more and more that this is not your true self. Another important thing to do in the journey towards self-love is to start to strip away the false identities we've created, because these are not our true self. You might recognize them in terms of labels, such as the people pleaser, the winner, victim, the clown. As you recognize these false identities, you can choose to gradually let them go and test out your true self with people who you meet who have proven themselves to be safe and trustworthy. There are a lot of good resources available to help you in your journey towards self-love. There are many good books, videos, and courses that you can access. A good book that springs to mind that many people have recommended is Pete Walker's Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. And a book that's helped me personally is Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. It's not specifically about overcoming childhood trauma, but I found it very valuable to help me let go of accumulated negative emotions such as anger and resentment that I'd built up from my scapegoated childhood. If you decide to use a therapist, then do some research and find a therapist who really understands the issues that you're going through. Also, find a therapist who you personally resonate with. It will really help your healing journey if you like, respect, and get along with your therapist. And also, there are a lot of support groups that you can join. The 12-step support groups are very good. It often helps to listen to people's stories who've been through similar things to you. And it also is an opportunity to test out your real self in a safe space where you have no fear of abuse or criticism. And now we'll start our meditation. Start by taking a few deep breaths and relax your body from the top of your head down to your chest, stomach, down to your legs and feet. Also relax your mind and your emotions. Just let them float away for this time of your meditation. Acknowledge the present moment. Be aware of any sounds, smells, the feeling of your body pressing against the chair. And know that you're here right now, in this time and place, and in this particular form. So imagine a white light in your heart center. Imagine it getting brighter and expanding out, pushing out any negative energy into a flame, letting it burn up and be recycled naturally. Now breathe in life force energy from nature and from the universal love and wisdom that's all around us. Breathe in this powerful divine energy through your open heart center and let it fill every cell of your body and every part of your energy field with divine light. Acknowledge that you are this divine light, simply wrapped in a body during this short lifetime. And we can give thanks for the opportunity to shine this divine light out through this body into the world in our own unique way during this lifetime. So stay in this energy, experiencing yourself connected to the divine within you and outside of you. Any thoughts that arise that you don't need, just let them drift to the background and bring your inner being to the front of your awareness. Just being, just noticing sounds, feeling the connection with all living things. And in this state of connection, you can say some statements to yourself, such as, I now accept myself and love myself unconditionally. All the positive and the negative, the light and the shadow. This is me, and all these things have developed from experiences that I've had during my life. I accept all of myself with unconditional love. I can choose what to improve, and I can choose to let go of any negative thoughts, emotions, voices that no longer serve me and are not my true self. So sit in this energy, the energy of simply being, simply existing for a few minutes. Feel the love for yourself flowing through you, the love for nature flowing through you, and universal love coming to you through this connection. You can also say to yourself, I'm here for you. I will never abandon you. Sit in this energy of unconditional love for yourself, unconditional acceptance. And now prepare to come out of your meditation. Acknowledge that you're sitting here in your room, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. hope that this has helped you. Please subscribe if it has been helpful. And I wish you all the best wherever you are in the world. Take care and bye for now.